I know a lot of brand owners have gone through this, so I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this video, but I did not sell out my first job. So now that some time has passed, I just want to make a video explaining where I think I went wrong or how I could have gone about this better. So, how long did I prepare? So, I'm gonna try and summarize these talking points up as much as possible, but I may have took too long to prepare than needed. So this takes place back like a couple years ago. Um, I decided I wanted to start this clothing brand, and I there was many videos I was watching on YouTube like how to start a clothing brand, but the one thing I really wanted to do was I wanted to make sure I was actually the one designing all the designs for my clothing brand. So long story short, I took the initiative. I spent the past few years just learning graphic design as much as possible, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and I started off just working on random little flyers, random little graphics, and eventually I got pretty good. So um I just started making more and more ideas like, oh, what if I make like a Modern Warfare 2 graphic tee? What if I make like just random stuff that I'm into? And I ended up making a series of all these different graphic tees, and I'm like, I should really release these and sell them. So last year, I got an LLC, I got a business bank account, and I just started preparing for the first drop. I was supposed to drop last year, but due to a bunch of, just adult things going on, like, I live out here in Oakland, and I don't live with my family or anything, so it is a little tough whenever you're trying to start a clothing brand and you fully support yourself. So, I made a lot of excuses, long story short. But yeah, so last year was just a bunch of prepping, getting better at designing, learning how to set up a business. And once I had the business set up, once I had all the designs, this year is when I started like really, you know, putting together ideas on collections and drop ideas. And out of all the graphics I worked on, I decided on one graphic. So with all that time, I guess how long I took to prepare for this drop was, I don't know, a couple years, but how long I took to prepare like the physical aspect of the drop, I would say it only took about 2 months. 1 month of like getting production. I want to say my screen printer, he got it done in like a month. So the screen printing process, I made 50 t-shirts. That took like a month. Then it took me like a couple weeks of hyping it up, doing the SMS list, and doing TikToks and stuff like that, posting on Instagram. And what I was using to prepare as well were obviously, like I mentioned, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. I was learning the ins and outs of those programs. I acquired the LLC, like I mentioned. I live in California, so it's basically you just have to go to the Secretary of State website, go to the IRS, get your EIN, and then it's like 800 a year to maintain the LLC. But I also was posting a lot on TikTok. So before I even dropped anything, I was trying to build the audience over on TikTok, just posting a lot of different music and stuff that interested in. I wasn't necessarily posting anything related to the brand. I was just posting about like music that I was into because I figured like this is my target audience. I'm gonna make TikToks cater to that target audience before I even start making clothes. So, and lastly was I tested out a lot of different blanks. I tried out Shaka, I tried out Rue Porter, just a bunch of different stuff, and settled on LA Apparel. I just felt like LA Apparel just they have the best business model going on. Like they're here local in California. They have a lot of inventory. There's not a lot of inventory problems. You can just set up a wholesale account and there's no minimums. You could just buy like with Shaka, I think you have to buy like six minimum of each piece. So like if you want a small, you have to get you have to get in increments of six. and that goes for every size if I'm not mistaken. And they're always out of stock. Like LA Apparel just, they have good control over the business. I just felt like their blanks are just some of my favorite blanks. Shaka's are pretty good too, but I would say I'd put LA Apparel above Shaka. So to prepare, I really just, these things you see on the screen, these are the things I was looking into a lot last year, which is what I used to prepare. So now, secondly, so the design. So the design I went with for my first drop was this Pac-Man retro graphic tee. So the reference, the inspiration behind it was Pac-Man World 2, that video game. It came out like on PS2, GameCube. Some of you might know about it, some of you might not, but everybody knows Pac-Man, but that the reference was the Pac-Man World video game. And I don't know why I went for that as the first drop. In the moment, it made a lot more sense to me than it does now talking about it, but I mean, it was a cool graphic. For sure a cool graphic. Like as you can see, like it's very retro looking. It like even there's a lot of distressing on the graphic as well. But so it was a great graphic overall. I got a lot of good feedback, a lot of people telling me they wanted this, and I posted a lot of my work on Instagram, but most of the time people were commenting on this Pac-Man one. And so I don't know why I just felt, who doesn't love Pac-Man? This is gonna be an easy sell. But I'll get more into it in a little bit, but if I could go back, that was my first mistake. I probably should not have started off with the Pac-Man graphic. I feel like that, like, you start questioning yourself whenever you're trying to run ads and you're like, okay, how do I target this? Like Pac-Man? Like, it gets a little niche at that point. So I probably would have chosen something else rather than Pac-Man at first. But yeah, I did a few photo shoots. I did a photo shoot like in San Francisco. Uh I did, yeah, some arcade photo shoots. I did a backdrop photo shoot. I really tried to put a lot of emphasis on the photography for this. My brother does photography, so that's something I want to focus on with the brand as well. I know that that's important, but yeah, definitely the photography could get a lot better as far as setting and everything. So, yeah, this is the design we went for this drop, and now for my brand. So my brand name, if I haven't mentioned, it's Re-Rock Basics. Basically my brand identity is revolved around like just flipping other identities. So like as you can see, I'm really flipping that like Zork, um artist from the 90s. Ian Connor also flipped the Zork style with Sicko. So as you can see, like that was like one of the first flips I did. I did the Jork style logo. Synthas. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen or heard of Synthas or maybe worked there. I don't know, but basically I flipped it into Biptas for the bipping movement here in the Bay Area. Um, the Pac-Man, like, so basically my brand identity for Re-Rock Basics is really revolved around flipping other ideas, other known ideas, and turning it into a new cool idea. It's like, I'm making clothing for Pac-Man that I wish Pac-Man would have made back then when I was a kid. You know what I mean? That's kind of what this brand identity is revolved around. Um so yeah. Next, what did I do as far as marketing? So when it came to marketing, I kind of shot myself in the foot because I didn't actually set up my ad accounts until like a week after I dropped. I don't know why I thought I'd be able to sell out organically, but selling out organically actually did not work out. Um, I had trouble with that. So then a week after releasing the Pac-Man tees, I went on Instagram and Facebook trying to set up my ad accounts, but I ran into some issues where my Instagram ad account got disabled because my Facebook account wasn't verified. So I tried to go verify my Facebook and they deactivated my Facebook. So I had to make a whole new Facebook. I had to have a notarization affidavit of my identity. Like, I basically had to do all kinds of stuff it took me weeks just to get my ads verified, my ad accounts verified. So I feel like that really, really hurt me this job. I didn't have much ads. I at once I had my ad accounts verified, I ran a few ads like, $12 ads, $24 ads, but it was really just engagement ads. I haven't really got any sales off them. So marketing was very low for this job. That's also where I feel like I messed up for this job. That's another thing I would do differently. I guess I if I were you guys, I would just make sure before your first job, have everything squared away. Business account, yes. LLC, yes. But also ad accounts. Like, make sure you go on Facebook and like verify your account for real. Like, verify your address, verify your identity, all of that. Instagram, TikTok, get all your ad accounts verified beforehand. So now the results. So as I mentioned before, I only did 50 t-shirts. So I ran 50 units and I only sold organically 25. So I'm still left with like, I believe, 25 t-shirts right now. So yeah, organically I was only able to sell half of those t-shirts and I priced them at $45 on my website, but I did have a 10% off on my website for SMS subscribers. So basically, yeah, I sold 25 for around 40 to $45, which isn't terrible. Like, there's people who have definitely done worse, but then there's also those people who have done like 30K their first drop, 100K their first drop. So I'm not super mad at it. I feel like I could have done a lot better if I had everything squared away beforehand. But yeah, the results weren't bad. I do think this next drop I'm gonna do in the next few weeks is gonna be a lot more organized, and I think I should have no problem getting better results on this next drop. Um, so lastly, now what I would do different. Um, so as far as what I would do different, I would say I would start off with prepping. I feel like I did a lot of perfectionism. I was really like unsettled on what piece to go with, like what graphic to go with, and I feel like you can't really put that much thought into it. You just have to the more the merrier. At like with brands, you just have to drop as much as possible. It's not about how good you make one product. It is important to make sure that the product is good. That's the backbone of the business for sure. But what I'm saying is, like, you're probably most likely 99.9% chance you're gonna flop a lot of drops. So might as well just get those flops out the way and get stuff moving and learn from your mistakes and speed up the process a little bit. Like I said, I took 2 years, so it really should not have taken that long. So that's the first thing I would do differently. I mean, the design was good. I feel like it was a good design. I probably just would have done. I have many designs. You guys can go check out on my Instagram, Rerock Basics, Tori Alizé. I'll put it in the description, but I would have probably gone with a different design. I'm not mad at the design, but think I could have done a little better. And then obviously, what I would do differently is marketing. Marketing, I really dropped the ball this drop, so that's definitely something to keep in mind when you guys are releasing. Just have everything squared away. Like, sometimes you might even have your account set up and then you go try and pay for an ad and they tell you that you have to contact support. Like, you really just have to do test runs of everything. Like, even like placing an order on your own website to make sure everything is good. Like that is super important. I had some guy in Europe hit me up like, "Hey, it's telling me that I can't place an order to my region." And obviously that's not good. Like I want to sell to the whole, most of the world as possible. I want to sell to as many people as possible. So I definitely was thankful that that guy in Europe hit me up and let me know that it wasn't available in his region. So I just had to go on Shopify and fix that. But that could have been prevented if I would have just like got everything squared away beforehand. There's little things you're gonna miss. So many like technicalities that you don't even think about. You're just focused on the art and the product that you forget about the little things. So definitely do a lot of test runs. I would have done more test runs. I would have got my ad accounts verified a lot sooner. Um yeah, as far as what I would have done different, I think those are the few things I would have tried to do different. Obviously there's no way to make it perfect each drop, but you, it's definitely a learning process. It's trial and error. So definitely gonna just have to try new strategies next time around. And now for what's next for the brand. I think what's next is just like I said, just dropping as many products as possible. I think my strategy before in my head was, oh, I want to just do one drop, like one t-shirt, like drop it like singles, but now I'm just like, no, I want to actually make as many pieces as possible and just flood Instagram Reels and TikTok and just do a lot of content surrounding around all these products. And I think what's next for the brand is just to get as many products out there as possible, and hopefully one of them hits and one of them is a winning product that just takes off. So these are some of the products I'm working on at the moment. I have many projects I'm working on, but I think the very next drop I'm doing in the next few weeks is these trucker hats, these reroute fleet trucker hats. So I have that coming soon, and then after that, I'm thinking that Zip Up will be released. It's a good rhinestone zip up, so uh, it costs a lot to make, but it's gonna be a premium, more limited product. And then obviously just some more t-shirts. I have a bunch of designs in the vault. So what's next for the brand is really just many more products, a lot more products. So yeah, I'm planning to just also get on YouTube and make a lot more videos. So um just explaining my process with my brand, what I could be doing better, and hopefully just learn from you guys as well, and you guys maybe even learn from me. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Rerock Basics, and uh, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.